I love to see a smaller guy with his plus size woman. All of that, I gag, I live. I love to see a fine man with a plus size woman showing love in public. That's me. Touch me. Yes. Now I want to see it now in front of everybody. Don't play with me.
Exactly.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm sure a lot of you were not expecting to hear from me because of my last post, but I really could not miss the opportunity to speak about this topic. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for my new subscribers over the past few days. I'm really excited to have you along the journey, and once again, don't mind the construction noise because this channel is still a work in progress. Okay, so I'm sure by now you guys have seen these two videos.
A man asked me for coffee today after work, and I politely told him no, and then brought myself to McAllister's, where I got this croissant, this grilled chicken sandwich, and an entire bowl of broccoli cheddar soup and a Dr. Pepper for under $25. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about how you like to date, just like I don't want you to argue with me about how I like to date. But coffee is never going to be an option for me. And just like I respect your choice to coffee, respect mine to not coffee.
So when I met you, I really thought for the first time ever, wow, I didn't know black girls could be pretty like that. I didn't know that black girls could be that pretty. So really, I was astounded. It took me back, and
So really, this video that I'm making now was inspired by the first video about the coffee date. Now, this should honestly be a public holiday at this point because we really do have this conversation every year without fail, and it always becomes viral. So there was a bunch of discourse specifically with the coffee date video. A lot of people were saying, this woman is plus size and she's dark skinned and she's not pretty. So she needs to take what she can get. She shouldn't have like these great big standards of getting like a high value guy. So that's one side of the coin. And then the other side of the argument is that she's allowed to have standards, as every woman is allowed to have standards, because there is probably a guy out there who is willing to meet her where she's at. But I did notice that majority of the responses that she was getting was telling her, girlie, you are blocking your blessings here. You should really reconsider those standards of yours. And here's the thing.
It be the black women who know that they have limited options with men that always want to try to make a man look like shit. Like, bitch, you are overweight and you're a solid 3. The audacity of you. Now, we all know that lady who went viral about talking about some man invited her on a coffee date and she told him no, and she went to go get her a fucking sandwich, a fucking soup, and a croissant, and a Dr. Pepper. Bitch, you lucky you got asked out on a date.
Some women gotta be very, very grateful that someone even asked them on a date. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't believe that anybody asked her on a coffee date at all.
Anytime y'all put too much emphasis on where the date is or how much the date costs, I know you're not used to nothing. You're not used to dates and you're not used to going to nice places.
If you had qualified for what you wanted out of life, you wouldn't need to come on the internet and complain and beg and plead for it. So like, I actually know women who live the lifestyle that you guys are always talking about online, where they get men to spoil them and trick off on them and take them here and steakhouses and lavish dates, but that's what they deserve.
I'm not sure what it is about social media that makes people think that only a certain kind of woman or man can get a date. Only a certain kind of woman or man can get married or get into a healthy relationship. And the thing is, people attribute the success of a relationship to people's looks. Like, if you look like a 10, like a Beyonce or like a Lupita, then you can 100% have high standards. But if you look like this woman here, then no, you need to lower your standards, and you're not going to get a date, let alone a good relationship or a good man, if you don't just accept what you can get. Which blows my mind, because in real life, that's really not the case. In real life, women of all shapes, sizes, heights, all of that are in healthy marriages or in loving relationships, and women who are quote unquote like 10s or like beautiful are also in relationships that are not favorable. I mean, the fact that Beyonce and Cassie and just Kelly Rowland, like the fact that all of these beautiful women were in crappy relationships at a time and they weren't treated like absolute queens is a testament to the fact that a good relationship is not exclusive to the most beautiful people in the world.
There's a woman right now getting dogged out in every single size from 2 to 22. It's not about her weight, it's about her worth. Does she know that she's worth more than settling for a dude that's fresh out of jail, than settling for a dude who's using her for a place to stay? Like, skinny girls get dogged out too. Not all skinny girls are confident, and not all plus size girls are insecure.
The reason why this is even a conversation about this lady not accepting coffee dates is because you guys genuinely believe that people you deem as unattractive have no right to have dating preferences or standards within themselves. Because you guys say that this lady should just accept whatever the fuck comes towards her because you're not personally attracted to her. And it's fucking crazy.
First of all, she didn't ask him on a date. He's not doing her a favor. It's not like she asked him out and said, we can do something cheap. He asked her out. So why are we acting like he is some sucker, like giving her a chance? What? There's men that like big women, clearly.
And another thing I want to point out, yes, it is okay to hold other women accountable. Okay, it's okay to say to someone, your standards are a bit too high, or your ick list is a bit too vast and a bit too unrealistic. Like, it's fine to hold women and men accountable for unrealistic standards when it comes to dating and relationships. However, that's not the chat here. All she said was that coffee dates are not an option for me and will never be an option for me. People are acting like she wants attention from the top 1%, like high value men in the world. People are acting like instead of a coffee date, she asked for a 5-star wine and dine 3-course meal on a yacht in Dubai. Okay. And that's the thing that blows my mind, is that, okay, she said coffee dates are not an option for her. Okay.
Thank you for asking. And for me, no, it's not about how much the date costs. For example, my favorite date that I've ever been on was him going to his favorite Mexican food spot in the city, and then me going to my favorite Mexican food spot in the city. And then we met up in the park and exchanged tacos with each other because he had never tried my place and I had never tried his place. And the fact that this was something that we were both experiencing for the first time and it was something that we both got to participate in has been my favorite date to date. And that date cost both of us probably no more than $20. And that includes the drinks that we had. So it's not about the amount of money that is spent. It's about the thought behind it.
So many other kinds of dates aside from a coffee date that people can just say, oh, if you don't want a coffee date, then that means you're like bougie and your standards are too high and you're expecting like fine dining on the first date. No. She didn't say any of that. She didn't say she was looking for the top 1%. She didn't say that she only wants a 6'5", 6-pack, 6-figure having man. Like, she just said coffee dates not for me. So as much as people want to say, oh, no, we were just trying to hold her accountable for her high standards, or we're just trying to make her be more realistic about the kind of man that she can get, I'm very sure. In fact, I'm not very sure. I'm 100,000% sure that women, even plus-sized women, as much as a lot of people don't think so, can get dates that are a little bit more than just coffee.
I guess as a retired fat hot girl, it's finally time for me to share how I got proposed to 4 times, engaged once, had a sugar daddy, and I do not pay my own rent. Also, for all of these tips, proceed with caution. First step, have the audacity. When I was in my early 20s, I had a group of just fly, fat, hot, successful girlfriends. They all had the audacity and they showed me how to have it too. And I never dropped it.
So whether you prefer coffee dates or you would like a date that isn't just coffee, that's maybe lunch or something else, that's absolutely fine, and that's your prerogative and that's your standard. We need to stop telling women, especially black women, to have lower standards, because then you get stories that come out a bit later on, like I'll take the Risa Tisa story, for example. I remember Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club, he had said something along the lines of, you big backs need to stop being so desperate for a man.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I hear a lot of big back behavior. Does she have a big back?
She do give Sheila that was driving up the mountain.
Okay.
What's your thing with big backs?
No, I'm just saying, because in a situation like this, some of you big backs, y'all gotta stop being so thirsty for a man.
But yeah, basically that's what he said. And it was a lot of people shared that opinion. So usually when a black woman gets into a relationship and then it turns out to be a bit weird or it just turns out quite bad, then people's automatic response is, she should have chosen better. Okay, so here you have a woman who's setting a standard for herself, something that I don't think is unreasonable, and people are saying, lower your standard, or do you really think that you can get that looking like the way that you do? Like all of these really, really horrid things. And like I said, she wasn't asking for a yacht or to shake her ass in Dubai. I love Nella Rose. I love her so much. She wasn't asking for any of that. She just said, coffee dates are not an option for me. And the thing that most irks me about this video and about the responses, specifically the negative responses that she's gotten, is that this is why some black women feel that they need to prove their desirability. Take this second video, for example, of this girl who was sitting in a car with presumably her boyfriend or date or whatever, and he's a white man and he's giving her the biggest backhanded compliment. In fact, it's purely an insult at this point, because what an ignorant thing to say, that, oh, I never thought black women could be beautiful. Like, I never thought that, except for you. You're the exception. You're not one of those girls. You're not one of those black girls. Like, come on. And she's sitting there and she's cheesing and she's enjoying it. And she's just like, this is the biggest compliment ever. Like, this white man is telling me how beautiful how I am. And you know, I'm an exception. And she's really like eating up this backhanded compliment. And I don't want to diagnose her or anything, but I do feel that she has some sort of self-esteem issues, I'm sorry to say, because the way that she was able to just eat up that man's comment as if it was the biggest compliment ever shows that she's really trying to prove her desirability on some level. And unfortunately, a lot of black women have this, because we've heard the statistics of how, you know, we are certain dating apps saying that Black women and like Asian men are like the least desired and all of that. Like, we've heard everything under the sun. We are literally in everyone's mouths. So I do empathize with the women who are still struggling with their self-esteem, but what's not gonna help is continuing to perpetrate this narrative that Black women can't have standards.
Not even about you want me, love. I am so content in who I am, and I love who I am so much. I'm not concerned about what you want to see from me. My body is not yours. You don't get to push whatever narrative you have over women's bodies or Black women's bodies or whatever. You don't get to push that on me. I'm not going to take it from anybody.
So acting as if she is asking for the moon and the stars just because she said coffee is not an option for me is wild. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with coffee dates, but we need to stop policing Black women's standards. So thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think down below. Again, I really do not tolerate hate and bullying on this channel, so please be kind when you're giving your opinions. And yeah, I'm not promising that I'll continue to post. I said October for a reason, because it's like exam time where I'm at, and there's just a ton of work to do. So this video was very improvised, and it's probably not my best work, but I just really felt that I needed to touch on this topic. So yeah, I will see you when I see you, and yeah, God bless.